In this video, we are going to see about the introduction of Unit 4 electronic circuits. First, we classify the materials. Based on the energy band gap, the materials are classified into insulators, semiconductors and metals. So this is the energy diagram for the insulator. Here this is for semiconductors and metals. We know that insulators are poor conductors or bad conductors of electricity, and then the metals or conductors are good conductors of electricity. And semiconductor lies between the insulators, the properties of insulators and metals. And here this is the conduction band. The upper band is called the conduction band and the lower band is called the valence band. The gap, the energy gap between the conduction and valence band is more in the insulators. So the energy gap, the voltage is, potential barrier voltage is 6 electron volts. But here you see the conductors, it is overlapped. The conduction band is up to this level, the valence band is up to this level. Here it is overlapped. So the flow of electrons between the conduction band and the valence band is very easy. So conductivity is more in metals. But here in insulators, here there is a barrier between these two bands. So flow of electrons is not possible. So hence it is called insulator. And see, in the semiconductors, this forbidden gap or the energy gap is very low. The energy gap voltage is 1 electron volt. So when we apply a voltage beyond this, then flow of electrons is possible. That is called semiconductors. When a voltage, applied voltage is more than a particular voltage, then flow of electrons are possible. That is called semiconductors. Now we see about the classification of semiconductors. Semiconductors are classified into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor, it is a pure semiconductor. So this semiconductor is not useful for the electronic circuits since the electrical conductivity is very less. The examples of intrinsic semiconductors are silicon and germanium. Here the next type is extrinsic semiconductor. In the extrinsic semiconductor, some impurities are added to the intrinsic to form the extrinsic semiconductor. Here the impurities are, while adding the impurities, the conductivity increases. So that is the extrinsic. The types of extrinsic semiconductors are p-type and n-type semiconductor. Based on the impurities added, the types are divided. And next we see about some important terms. First one is the doping. So doping means the process of adding impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. That is called doping. So if you are adding any impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor, then the resultant semiconductor will be a extrinsic semiconductor. So that process is called doping. And in the extrinsic semiconductor, there are two types, n-type and p-type. Now let us see what is n-type and what is p-type. So n-type semiconductor means a small amount of pentavalent impurities. Pentavalent means the valence electrons will be 5. So the arsenic, antimony or phosphorus, these materials are having valence electrons 5. So these impurities are added to the pure semiconductor. Pure semiconductor, that is the intrinsic semiconductor, germanium or silicon. These are all intrinsic. So some pentavalent impurities like arsenic, antimony or phosphorus is added to germanium or crystal in order to get n-type semiconductor. The next type is p-type semiconductor. In the p-type semiconductor, trivalent impurity is added, that is the valence electrons will be 3. So that impurities examples are aluminum or boron. So this 3 valence electron impurities like aluminum or boron is added to the pure or intrinsic semiconductor, silicon or germanium, in order to get the p-type semiconductor. And now let us see the p-n junction diode. P, p-type semiconductor, N, n-type semiconductor. So this p-n junction is formed by the combination, that is the fusion of p-type and n-type semiconductor. Here this is a p-type, pentavalent impurities added. Here, yeah, n-type is the pentavalent impurities added, p-type is trivalent impurities are added. And then these two are fused to form p-n type. So this, in between these two, a junction is created, that is p-n junction. So here a potential barrier voltage is present, and then this is the symbol, diode symbol. Here this part is the anode, this part, and here this is the positive side, and this is cathode, negative side. Current flows only in this direction. Bidirectional current is not possible. Current only flows in this direction. Anode to the device, that is the diode, through cathode. So this is a p-n junction diode. And next, another diode is present here, Zener diode. Zener diode, the symbol is here, a projection is like this. Here this is also a ordinary p-n junction diode, but the Zener diode works in reverse bias condition. So in biasing there are two types, forward biased and reverse biased. Forward biased means when positive is connected to positive. Here this is the positive. When positive voltage, the positive battery voltage is connected to positive, means then it is called forward bias. And reverse bias means negative is connected to positive. At that time, the Zener diode works under the reverse bias condition also, but p-n junction diode doesn't work under reverse bias condition. So this is the application. This is the main case in the reverse Zener diode. So Zener diode is a specially designed, highly doped p-n junction diode. So the doping level is more in Zener diode while compared to the p-n junction diode. So Zener diode is used as a voltage regulator also. So now in the next video we'll see the characteristics of p-n junction diode and Zener diode, as well as the working under forward bias and reverse bias conditions of p-n junction diode. Thank you.